drawing project. So this is for my AP drawing students. Hello, AP drawing students. We are going to talk about your first project, which is play on words. So for your project, play on words, you're going to explore cliche, which is ironic because I've been complaining about cliche art and telling you not to do it. So we're going to kind of turn that on its head for this project. For this project, I want you to make something that is humorous, clever, or tongue-in-cheek. You can possibly even get a little bit dark with your humor here. Your cliche needs to make sense when I look at the picture. So it might be something where I have to read the title to guess the cliche, but after I read the title, I should understand which cliche you were trying to illustrate. So your goal here is communication, and you can do this project in any two-dimensional medium. So watercolor, colored pencil, oil paint, paper cutouts, printmaking, whatever materials you want to use in your concentration or sustained investigation, you can use that on this project. So there's no specific material that you have to use. It just has to be a drawing or a painting or some kind of two-dimensional art. All right, so let's talk about cliches. So a cliche is just an overused phrase, and a lot of times they are actually funny sounding. Think about those Southernisms that there's always on like Facebook and things like that. Your parents probably say them. So phrases like sick and tired, playing your cards right, cat's got your tongue, the grass is always greener on the other side, child's play. All of those are cliches that you can use as kind of like a fun jumpstart for your first illustration. This is a really nice example of what I want to see from you all in this project. So this is a cartoon strip, it's very old, and it has a bunch of cliches in it. So it's kind of like making fun of the different things that they say. So look at the second picture where it says he threw himself at her feet, and he's literally throwing himself at her feet. Or she turned a little pale, but she's like kicking over like a pail, like a physical pail. So you can also kind of play with homonyms and homophones as well for this project. So look at this in detail, and it will probably give you a couple good ideas, maybe make you smile. In the packet, it's going to ask you to do some research. So remember, the packet is very important for this project. You need to complete the whole thing, and that is preparing you for that AP process. So even though this piece may not go in your sustained investigation, I would like for it to be good enough to go in your quality. So do a good job on this project and go through all the steps, and the practicing of the steps on this project will make you really good at remembering all the different things you have to do when you start your sustained investigation. So the artists that the packet's going to ask you to research are Jasper Johns, and these are some of his pieces. These pieces right here, when you read the title, all of a sudden it has a lot more meaning to it. So it's a little bit esoteric at first, and then when you read the title, you're like, oh, I get it now. Richard Hamilton is another artist that played with humor and cliches a lot in his art. So there were a lot of meanings and different levels to what he was doing. Another artist that I'd asked you to research is Durane. And a lot of his work that I was familiar with before doing this project with students was like traditional, well, not traditional, more like impressionistic, really brightly colored landscapes. But he also has this series of woodblock prints that are very humorous. They're very much about cliches. And then this painting right here, which I had seen before, does have a little bit of an element of humor to it. So I can see why he was included in this list of artists. The last artist that it asked you to research is David Hockney. And the piece that I'm covering up with my little box is probably one that you've seen before, but several of his pieces have humor and cliche kind of thrown into them. All right, these are some examples of work that can be done for this project. So be as creative as you want to. You just need to be able to communicate the cliche that you chose. And it's really a fabulous packet. I'm going to walk you through it just a little bit, but that packet will actually take you step by step through everything that you need to do. So I'm going to go get that packet now, and I'll see you in just a second. Hello, AP drawing students. This is the part of the video where I will explain the Play on Words project. Here I'm going to explain the research sheet. So this is the document that is attached to this post on Schoology, and I'm going to go over how to go through all the different steps of the AP process while working on your project. So the name of your first project for drawing is called Play on Words. And so it's going to be divided up into steps. So it should be pretty easy to follow. So step one is going to be doing the research, and then you're going to glue and or write the research into your sketchbook. And this is an important part of the AP process, so make sure you document it. For different things like this, like websites, you do not have to type all of that out. You can actually just copy it by highlighting it, and then on a Mac you can hit Command C. On a PC you can right click and hit copy, and then you just pull up an internet window, and then you're going to paste that and go to the website. Okay, the next thing you're going to do after you look up some different cliches and list them out is you're going to Google the artist that I talk about in the other clip that I'm sharing with you, and choose 6 images of artwork, and then make sure you know the title of the work and who did which ones. Then you're going to arrange this page however you want in your sketchbook, but make sure that you paste in those images that you chose, and then you answer these questions below each image or next to each image so that it's clear which answers go with which image. Now, if you do not have a printer or don't have access to your printer at home for some reason, that would be the other kind of stuff that you would need to email that to me, and then I can print it in black and white at school, and then the next time that you come to pick up supplies, I can share those printouts with you as well. And I'm at home, so you can hear my dog. All right, so there is the rubric. If you want to read that, go for it. But for each section, you're going to turn that into me. It's worth a certain amount of points. Obviously, we're not going to be able to sign everything virtually, but that would be the first step. All right, step 2 is you are going to do a proposal. So you're going to pick what cliche, what media, what message, how you're going to make it understandable, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to write all of that out, and then you're going to brainstorm. So you're going to make a list of cliches that you have used, write down what they actually mean, and then some more stuff about cliches. So turn all that into me for step 2. That's kind of your brainstorming and your planning section. All right, then step 3, you are going to complete 4 thumbnail sketches, and then you're going to pick your best one, and you're going to make a 1-page sketch, and make sure it's a sketch. Like, don't feel like you have to do a super detailed drawing, and you are more than welcome to label things instead of drawing a lot of detail. Like, sometimes you just like draw an oval and you're like, pretty face, and then you just keep working. And then for yours, you are going to work with any kind of media that you want. So you do not have to work in a 3-dimensional media. You don't even have to work in a certain type of 2-dimensional media. So, if this gets a little bit confusing, it's wanting you to do a certain type of media, but for AP, you can use any type of medium that you want to use. In fact, I would encourage you to use whatever kind of medium you think you're going to use for your sustained investigation to give you a little bit of practice, get your feet a little bit wet. All right, then color in that full page sketch with colored pencil, and then turn in that to me. So that is step 3. So at this point, you've turned in 3 separate things for grades over time. And then step 4 is going to be to make a list of all the materials that you use, like down to every little fine detail, like tape, like scissors, like everything that you're going to use to make this project. You're going to turn that in. That's step 4. Step 5, you're going to collect your media, make sure that you're organized and clean, and be detailed about what you do. All right, so then you're going to do your project and you're going to turn that in. Now keep in mind that your project is a separate score from this research and paperwork. So you get a grade for your project and you also get a grade for all your research process documentation. Be taking pictures of your project as you work on it throughout the different stages so that we can kind of see how it goes. And that way, if you mess up at some point, we at least have some pictures of what it looks like in process. After you're finished, you're going to complete this journaling in your sketchbook, and then you're going to turn that in. And once you turn that in, you're going to move on to step 7. So step 7 is about handing in your project. Now this is geared towards being in the classroom, but there are still some similar things that you will do even if you're at home. So on the back of your paper or your canvas or whatever you do your project on, do write your name, the title of your piece, and the date that you completed it. So even if you worked on it for like several days, you're just going to write the date that you finished it. If you cannot write on the back or bottom of your piece, then write this on a slip of paper and attach it with tape. Then instead of you putting it on my desk, you're going to bring me the project on Monday. So every Monday, you're going to bring me projects. So this project is due on a Thursday. You're going to upload a picture of it on Thursday, but you're not going to bring it to me in person until Thursday. So I will give you a grade based on what it looks like, but I need it so that I can take pictures of it in at school with good lighting, and so that I have a picture of it and so that you have a picture of it, just in case anything happens to either one of our computers or phones or whatever. Okay, then you're going to fill out the drawing checklist, which will also be attached to this post on Schoology. It's pretty self-explanatory. The checklist is going to have you write down all the specs and important information about this project. And then it has a checklist where you check off what elements of art, principles of design, and scoring criteria from the AP rubric you utilized on the project. And then you're actually going to glue that into your sketchbook after every single project that you complete. That way, when we're completing your portfolio in May, we have your sketchbook as a handy reference for all this information, so we're not trying to remember it at the last minute. Make sure that you complete the packet. It should already be complete at this point, but if you haven't completed it, make sure it's complete. Make sure you've signed everything you're supposed to sign, or that you've posted everything you're supposed to post. And then take pictures of anything that you've done in your sketchbook and post that in Schoology. Then you're going to turn in everything on Schoology with your name, and then I will kind of like want to look at your sketchbook, but I'll just flip through it when you come see me. So every Monday when you come, make sure you bring your finished project from the week before and your sketchbook. Then any supplies that you need to drop off, we'll kind of make a swap at that point as well. All right, and that is everything for this handout. And everyone say hi to my puppy real quick. Say hi, Quinn.